In the exciting world of anime and manga, Tokyo Revengers has really made a mark. This series is known for mixing time travel with stories about gangs, and it's become super popular, making its way into today's pop culture. But even though lots of people loved it, there's been some big arguments about how it ended. These arguments split the fans into different sides, causing a lot of debate online and on social media. Today, we're going to look into why some fans weren't happy with the ending, what decisions in the story made people so divided, and what this all means for the series in the long run. In the final arc of Tokyo Revengers, a big twist happens with Mikey. It's revealed that he has been cursed with something called the Dark Impulse, which is like an inner force that makes him act violently, and that's the reason that he's become such an evil bastard. This dark impulse comes from a curse linked to Mikey's brother Shinichiro, who got into the whole time travel mess, who was the time leaper before Takemichi. The story goes on to explain that this curse started because Shinichiro wanted to save Mikey from a comatose state, and in looking for a cure, he came across a homeless man who turned out to have time travel abilities, who revealed that the only way to get the powers was to kill the current time leaper. Thus, Shinichiro did the unthinkable, killing the man, obtaining his time leaping ability, and going back in time to save Mikey. But in changing the outcome of the future in the initial timeline, this also left Mikey cursed with the Dark Impulse. This part of the story changed things up a lot. It moved the story from a more realistic, tough world of gangs that happened to have somebody who had the ability to time leap, to more magical stuff, which has made a lot of fans unhappy. They liked the story more when it felt more real and serious, and this change made the ending feel much less believable to them. The story wraps up with Takemichi changing the future a lot, saving everybody who had previously died throughout the story, who were supposed to have sad endings, and he even stops Mikey from going down the wrong path by changing things from when they were kids. This ultimately resurrects everybody, changes their lives for the better, and we end the story off with a bright future where everything works out. But the way the story ends was abrupt and left a lot of questions about what happened in between those plot lines unanswered, especially about how the time travel worked out in the end for Takemichi. When comparing this ending to other series such as Attack on Titan, which also had a main character who dealt with time travel, it's clear to see that where Tokyo Revengers fell short in actually explaining in detail precisely what happened and how they were able to go about resurrecting the characters and fixing the timeline, Attack on Titan clearly had an ending that planned this out from day one. When we talk about endings, it's another series that a lot of fans followed closely, hoping for an epic conclusion, and in my opinion, that's what fans got when they watched Attack on Titan. It isn't an excuse that Tokyo Revengers had to do with time travel and that they were able to just half-assedly wrap everything up in a nice little bow. There was a way to explain this, but they just didn't go down that path. There's a few things that Tokyo Revengers could have done differently. Looking back at the mixed feelings about the ending, it's interesting to think about how things might have been wrapped up in a way that more people would have liked. Even though these ideas are just guesses, they try to tackle the big complaints from fans and critics about loose ends, characters acting out of character, and the story not coming together perfectly in the end. One idea to make the ending better could have been to take more time to finish off all the different storylines carefully. Tokyo Revengers had a lot of different stories going on at once, and giving each character the attention they needed would have satisfied the viewers a little bit more and made the ending pay off. Maybe if the series had a few extra chapters or a whole nother arc altogether, there would have been enough room to dive deeper into each character's story and sort out all the different plot points more smoothly. This way the ending wouldn't have felt so rushed. When it comes to how characters grew and changed as well, sticking to the path they were on from the start could have made a big difference. Seeing Takemichi, Mikey, and Draken, as well as others, develop was a big part of why people love the series so much. Takemichi went from this crying waste of a man to an actual person that you were rooting for, and no matter how many times he got the snot knocked out of him, you were still riding with him because you wanted him to win. The time travel aspect was just the cherry on top, but making that more clear and more consistent at the end would have made the final arc that much better. Explaining how time travel actually worked and what it meant for characters and the story's ending might have kept the story solid all the way through. It's also worth thinking about what Ken, the creator, has to say about how it all ended. Understanding his thoughts or reasons for ending the story the way he did could have given us a little bit more insight into his choices and closure. Writers often have to find a balance between doing what they want with their story and what they know the audience hopes will happen. And hearing from Waiku himself could help fans see the ending in a new light. In the end, while not everybody was happy with Tokyo Revengers and how it finished, thinking about the different ways that it could have ended helps us look at the story in a constructive way. Ultimately, Tokyo Revengers has been a standout story, mixing the gang life, drama, romance, and time travel in a detailed character journey, and it really caught people's attention. It's just a shame that the further the series went on, the more people seemed to not give a damn about it. But the way it ended was deserved its mixed reviews nonetheless. What do you think about how Tokyo Revengers ended? Did it meet your expectations? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and punch that like button. And until next time, peace.